Welcome to the last game of the student showcases from the SGDA Summit 2021. We're here with one of the developers of the game Terra Nova. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Jack. I go by Jack and Cheese, and this is the game that some friends and I from the UCF Game Dev Nights Club made for one of our game jams.
So we'll be going over I'll begin playing, and then you can start talking about your development process, any sort of tips that you have, because I'm not the best at RTS. I'm gonna go with easy mode.
It's fair. Um, so for this game, we started off by pitching a bunch of different projects and ideas, and this pitch started with just the name Terra Nova. Someone was like, okay, well, what if we had I think our game jam's theme was New World, and we took that kind of literally. I think Terra Nova literally means New World, and the idea is that you have to colonize a planet and collect its resources, and once you collect enough of the crystals, you win. So our inspirations were Age of Empires, and for our main mechanic, we focused on a day and night cycle, which you can see on the top right. There's a timer for that. And during nights, there are dinosaurs that come and attack your base and your people and stuff. And during the day, you have time to build up your defenses and whatnot.
I really like the music of the game too. Really, it's very cool. I like it. I'm not an audio person, so it's hard for me to make many critiques or anything, but I'm really liking it. We already have some wood to begin with. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How long have you been working on this game?
So we first, the game jam was 48 hours, but we didn't get very much finished with it, so we spent around 2 weeks afterwards polishing up the game and then setting it up for mobile as well as web release. In total, probably our team was about 4 or 5 people, and we probably spent a good couple days of dev time working on it.
I noticed there was an APK in the on the itch page, so all that is. I feel like this large crystal is going to be the way to go for getting the 5,000 that we need. I noticed that the map is kind of grid-based, even though the game map itself is, or this map, the mini-map, is grid-based, whereas the game map doesn't look too grid-based. So, is that how the underlying mechanics of that work? It being generated on a grid.
I was in charge of the environmental art, so I did all of the sprite work for that, for basically everything except for the characters. Including the GUI. So I don't know specifically about that, but I do know when we were setting up the game in Unity, it did actually have a grid system for collisions with the buildings. Each of the team members made a level and designed it with the different resource sizes and locations. And there's a different theme for each level. So this is the forest one. There's also a castle ruins world, a snowy one, a desert, each of which have a different layout, but I do believe all of it's set up on a grid system.
Okay. What other questions do we have? Could you go a little bit, or I guess you just did go a little bit more in depth into your role. Where did you? So you mentioned that this was inspired by Age of Empires.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that inspiration because my dad used to play a lot of it when I was growing up. Where are the members in general located? And was this? And you mentioned that it was for UCF's for a game jam.
Mm-hmm.
So did you know each other before then, or did you meet at the game jam itself?
I think some of our team members knew each other, but I didn't know anybody in our team prior to starting this project.
Okay.
And all of us are located in Orlando. I think some of us have graduated at this point, so they may be elsewhere, but...
For the future of the game's development, do you have any plans for continuing it? Any further development, anything like that?
I don't think so. I think we're pretty happy with how it turned out. Some of the other members of our team, we've started working on other projects together.
Hmm.
Uh, we meshed really well during the game jam, so we figured why not just keep working on other games. So we've got a couple other projects that we're starting for a more long-term game development.
That is really good to hear. Even if this one is kind of feature complete or finished, then it's still good to hear that you guys are still working together.
So one of the things that we spent a long time working on was balance, and the main thing that we focused on was how quickly the enemies would come and how the progression of difficulty with that was, and then also the resource collection.
Mhm.
So with each of the resources, there's the food, wood, and crystals. Um, Wood and crystals are on the map, and you send the civil aliens to collect them. And those have different sizes that get collected at different rates and also have different total amounts before they run out. And then the food is collected from farms, which you can build. Uh, a lot of
See
time was
here,
spent tweaking this. It's probably the most challenging part.
I can see here there's like more crystals left in this one, but it takes longer to get. But the rate of crystals which you get is like one half crystal per second, whereas with this one it's one crystal per second, but there's a lot fewer left. So
Hmm. Yeah, the goal was to make it so there's a more depth to the choices that you make as a player. Like,
mhm.
oh, do I need to get this resource faster for this incoming wave, or do I want to have a longer flow of income of this thing?
I think earlier I actually made a little bit of a tiny mistake because I made too many civil aliens and I didn't have enough to defend myself against the dinosaurs. Right now I'm playing on
Mhm.
peaceful mode just so that I can get a handle of the game itself, but I think it's very funny that I happen to land on 256 wood exactly. Uh, the programmer in me is very, very satisfied with that. How one thing that I did want to ask about was the fact that I saw that it was integrated with Game Jolt. So how was working with Game Jolt in your experience? Because I think this is the first time
Um,
that I've seen that.
I had never worked with Game Jolt before this project. Uh, all I did personally with it was I made the banners and the other like marketing art stuff and set up the descriptions and whatnot. But from what our one of our programmers, Tyler, has he did with that. It was a lot of fun setting up the achievements.
Right.
It seemed I wasn't directly involved with it, so I don't know, but it seemed pretty seamless to set up.
And it kind of gives it this inherent like online nature where there's high scores as you can see here. Well, you won't see here if I was playing on a normal mode, but
Hmm.
and I think that's also another. I think a lot of us have, or a lot of students have their portfolios on itch.io, but Game Jolt also seems like it would be a good place to host your games. Was there any cost associated with hosting them?
I don't think so, but I was not in charge of setting that up.
Right. Okay.
But as far as I know, there wasn't. We did upload the game to both Itch and Game Jolt, so we had all of our bases covered.
They have food. Let's go. So during development, what were some of your highlights and some of your struggles or lowlights as you went on development?
Um, Highlights was definitely seeing the environmental assets and then the character assets all start to get implemented. That was one of the best parts because that was the point when we could physically see the game that was being played. And that kind of inspired all of us to keep pushing and adding more and more. That was one of the
So,
best parts. I don't know if we really had any lows. The only one I could think of is when we presented this to um there was an end of the year showcase for our club and we presented this game. At some point or another, the wrong version of the game got uploaded,
Oh
and
no.
so you couldn't actually beat the game because we had a test version where you had infinite resources. So that was kind of awkward, but
Yeah, no,
it worked out
that's
in the end.
for sure. That's
it's
always
like
a
your second
struggle.
chance at presenting it for. Oh, that would have been very useful. Hitting space to select the headquarters. I should have seen this.
Yes, there's that, and then I believe there's another button that lets you rotate between the civil aliens that you have.
Honestly, now that I've like found these keyboard controls for moving the camera, I am definitely getting that Age of Empires vibe a lot more now. This is the speed that I remember watching.
Now that we're sort of approaching sort of the close of your showcase block, is there anyone you'd like to shout out or anything that you'd like to shout out just as a final remark?
For a final remark, I would just like to thank Game Dev Nights for giving us the opportunity to learn more about development and um, communicate with others and make friends and finish a project like this. Because this was a ton of fun. It was very rewarding to work through all of it together with everyone else.
So now that I've got a hang of it, I think that I can definitely see myself playing this in the future too.
Sure. Yeah, you can find Terra Nova on, I believe, Itch and Game Jolt, as we noted before. We'll be posting these links on the SGDA Zone Discord as well as Twitch chat. But yeah, thank you for helping to present your
Hmm.
game Terra Nova to us today.
Thank you.
It was a lot of fun, and we hope to see more of what you guys develop in the future.
Hopefully you will.